In this video, I'm going to show you how we are going to be able to leverage other people's money in order to scale our trading profits. Now, one of the ways that you can make money is by investing your own capital, and then your profits are going to be based on whatever amount you invested. Now, of course, the bigger the account you have, the more money that you can make. So if you have a little bit of capital, $1,000, for example, it's going to be very difficult to want to make $20K a month. You're going to have to grow that $1,000 until eventually you get to a high enough amount where you can create a reliable income at $20K per month. That might be a while. Now, the other way of doing it is by using a service that funds consistent, profitable traders. Now, in this video, I'm going to be sharing a couple of options and the one that I'm using right now, along with the strategy that I'm using right now to continue to scale my profits, and that is going to take me to $1 million per year. This video is not going to be about how to create the account and how to set up the tech. When you enroll into one of these services, they're going to show you how to do that. This is more of a strategy video more than anything. The page that I have here in front of me is a company called Apex Trader Funding, and I'll have links below for all of this, so you can easily go and check them out. And the way it works is that you're going to be paying a monthly subscription for an evaluation period. Essentially, they're going to put your skills to the test. And if you pass the evaluation, you get access to accounts from $25,000 all the way to $300,000. And the way it works is that you pay the monthly subscription. They're going to tell you how much you need to make to pass the evaluation and what is the max that you're allowed to lose. For example, here, looking at the 25K accounts, they tell you, okay, the maximum amount of contracts on the mini is going to be 4 contracts. In order to pass the evaluation, you need to make $1,500 in profit. And if you lose $1,500, you lose the account. Now, for those that are new to this kind of thing, the biggest question is, okay, what happens if I lose? Am I going to be liable? Do I owe anybody any money? And the answer is no. The whole process is automated. You don't talk to anyone. Essentially, if you fail the evaluation, you have 2 options. You can reset that account. So you pay a fee ranging from $30 to $80, depending if they have any discounts. And you essentially restart the evaluation. Or the other option is you leave the subscription, and next month, when you get billed again, the account starts from zero once more, so you can get started on that evaluation. Essentially, you can continue to do this, and when you hit the profit target, you pass the evaluation, they send you a contract that you sign, and then the next day you're able to start trading a funded account. Once you start the funded account, you start again from zero. So whatever you made during the evaluation, that was in a simulator, you don't actually make that money, and nobody actually lost anything if you failed. Once you start with the funded account, then what you make, you're going to be able to withdraw twice per month. Now, the only thing that you need to be aware of with prop firms is that they're going to have rules. And for you to be able to get funded, you have to follow the rules. They're going to have rules, especially for risk. So that is going to be the biggest thing. For example, one of the rules is that you need to trade a minimum of 7 days, meaning that if on one day you make $1,500, you have to continue trading until you meet the minimum. For example, you can only trade between certain hours, market hours. They don't want overnight trades, things like that. So just read the rules. They're very simple, but you need to be aware of. Now, there's going to be several companies. The ones that I have used personally is Topstep. Right here, what I like about them is that their interface is very user-friendly. They do have more limited options. They only have a 50K, 100K, and 150K account, and you're only allowed to have one account at a time. Here's why I want to share with you why I like Apex and why I've transitioned to only working with the Apex, is because of my plan to get into $1 million. See, with Apex, you are allowed to have up to 20 accounts. When you're working on scaling your positions, in the beginning, you're going to be trading with 1 or 2 contracts, maybe 5, and that is going to feel very comfortable. As you continue to scale, let's say you were trading your own money, once you get to 20 contracts, 15 contracts, it's a different challenge. That's going to be another psychological skill. For example, when I put 20 contracts, I definitely start sweating, right? It's just a little bit more challenging. seeing the big numbers swing in your favor, against you, thousands and thousands of dollars, it can be a little bit challenging. So the way that we're going to hack that process is, instead of scaling with contracts, instead of placing one trade with 20 contracts or with 50 contracts, what I'm doing right now is that I am trading 10 accounts, 10 $25,000 accounts, and I trade small. I trade with 2 contracts. And so it's going to feel very easy. And what I do is that I buy a piece of software that I'm going to show you here that allows me to trade all the accounts at the same time. And so if I place the trade in one account, as I will normally trade, it is automatically going to place the same trade in all the other accounts. For example, here, if I take one trade and I make $200, which is what I'm doing right now, then if I have 10 accounts, I will just multiply by 10. And so essentially I made $2,000 with the same amount of effort, and I didn't have to place a trade with 20 contracts, which can be a little bit nerve-wracking and definitely at my threshold for comfort in a trade. Another thing is that you're spreading the risk. If it doesn't work, I only lose $100 or $200 per account instead of $2,000. And so that is my plans for scaling. That's what I have. That's why you may have seen me post videos or photos in the community or in social media where you might see that I made $200 10 times. That's why. It's because right now I'm trading 10 accounts at the same time. And my plan is to get to $25,000 accounts, trading with 2 to 4 contracts, meaning that in one shot, I can make between $2,000 and $4,000. And if I extend the targets, I could make $8,000, $10,000 with the same amount of effort without feeling the pressure of a really big position. Now, previously, I was only getting the 50K accounts. However, I have found that they offer a lot of leverage, a lot of contracts. And most people, if they tell you that you can use 10 contracts, you're going to find yourself using 10 contracts at some point. And so that can be a double-edged sword. I also realized that the easiest and most effective way to pass these evaluations and keep the accounts is to trade smaller and take your time. So 2 to 3 contracts is a good spot, maybe 4 if it's a really good setup. And so even though I had the 50K accounts, I found myself trading with 2 to 4 contracts. So I realized that if I'm not going to be using 10 contracts, then I could just do the 25K accounts and my profit target is going to be half the size, meaning that I can reach the profit target in half the time and have the funded accounts much, much faster. So I have some 50K accounts because I already had them, but now I am buying 25K accounts. And I also realized when you start doing the math, and once I put together the plan to hit $1 million, is that I don't need the 50K accounts. In fact, with 25K accounts, I could hit $500,000 or $1 million, depending on my win rate, just by placing one trade with 2 to 4 contracts. Sounds crazy, but when you do the math, you could be making between 2 and 4K per day, only placing one trade, going for 2 points with 2 contracts. So you don't need a huge account. You don't need a lot of trades. The way that I'm scaling is by adding more accounts, not by adding more contracts. It's essentially the same, but we're breaking it up. And psychologically, it's a lot easier. Now, the other advantage is that it is very affordable. I don't have to risk my capital. I actually stop trading my own capital and I only trade the funded accounts. And so I can use my capital for other things and I can continue to use these accounts and continue to withdraw. Now, the way these companies work, for example, with Apex, the first $25,000 in profit that you make, you get to keep 100% of that. And after that, they take 10% of the profits, which is a great split, by the way. You might think, well, this sounds amazing. Sounds a little too good to be true. Why is there companies that do this? And here's the reality. The business model they have is that most of the money is going to come from people renewing subscriptions, the people that continue to blow accounts and never actually pass. And that's going to be most people doing this. The reason is that most people trading in the markets are people that are not actually consistently profitable. And so they're just hoping to pass, but they just keep renewing and renewing and renewing. And so the idea is that with training, and for those in this group, you have a system, you have an edge. And so you're going to be in a position to actually pass this as opposed to people that have no clue what's going on. And so, yeah, they actually make most of their money with the memberships. But the people that do pass, the people that do have the skills, they are able to capitalize on this huge opportunity to use leverage and make more money. Now, you may see that the price here is, for example, $147 per month. Now, I do have a discount code for you, and it is going to be right here, and I'll post it below. Now, if you use a code, you're going to get half off. Most of the time, they're going to have specials, right? They have like 70% off, 80% off. The most I have seen is 90%. And so if you use the same code, it is going to give you whatever the best discount is at the time. And yes, it is an affiliate code. However, I'm only recommending this company because it's what I actually use. This is what I'm actually doing to scale. I only recommend things that I actually use, that I actually like the service, and that I actually believe in. So there's not many things that I have affiliate links to, but this is one of them. And so there's going to be the link below. Now, Topstep, it's a great company as well, and I've used it as well. The only reason that I'm no longer using them is because you can only have one account at a time. And so if you buy multiple accounts and you pass them, it just gets bundled into one account. So if you have a 50K account and you pass another one, now you have a 100K account. But at that point, it's kind of like trading your own money in a sense that you have to place big trades, and psychologically, that can be a little more challenging. And of course, I'm always looking for the easiest and fastest way to make the most amount of money with the least amount of effort. So that's why I'm only using Apex. If you want to use Topstep, I'll have a link for that too, in case you want to check them out. Now, the software that I'm using right now, and there's a few options out there. The only one that I've used is the Apex Trade Copier. And so I'll post a link for that below as well. It is going to be $150 and you get 2 licenses, so for 2 computers. And it is going to allow you to link all your accounts and trade them at the same time. Now, again, this is not a video on how to actually set up the software. When you come in here and buy it, they're going to have videos and help you set everything up. But this is more of showing you what's available, showing you what I'm doing and what my recommendations are. I know there's other copiers out there. This is the one that I would recommend because it's the one that I'm using and it's the only one I've ever had. But you're welcome to check others out. My biggest recommendation with this is take your time. Don't go too big with the size. Trade small. It might seem a little bit boring if you're only placing trades with 1 or 2 contracts. Take it easy. The people that blow these accounts all the time is because they're trying to go too big, too fast. They're trying to pass it in a day. But think about it. If you give yourself 1 month to pass these evaluations, by the end of the 2nd month, you could be cashing out and getting paid. But in that attempt to rush things, to not think about risk, to want to pass it in 2 days, people end up blowing their accounts, try to go fast again, blow it again, and stay in this loop where it would have been a lot faster if they just took it nice and slow and paradoxically end up being a lot faster. So this is what I'm doing right now. This is how I'm going to get to $1 million. I'm already at 10 accounts. And the other thing you can do, you don't have to start with 10 accounts like I do. You can start with 1, maybe you can start with 5. When you pass, there's going to be a fee that you have to pay to activate the account. With Apex and both of them is going to be $140. Topstep is going to be $150. And you pay that once and then you keep the accounts. What you can do is pass 1, pass 2, withdraw some money, use that money to buy more accounts. Now, if you're like me, I just go 5 or 10 at a time and then pass them all at once. Up to you, whatever you feel comfortable. Of course, if you're brand new, just buy 1 or 2 and test them out, see how it all goes, and then you can always add more. And then definitely be on the lookout for promotions. They always have promotions going on all the time. They may range in percentage, but they're always there. And if you use the code that I'm giving you, you're going to be able to take care of that discount. So this is the plan. This is what I'm doing to hit $1 million. And the plan is 20 accounts of 25K, placing 1 trade per day, making between $200 and $400 per account. And so do the math there. I'll see you in the next one.